In this center, you will have 15 minutes to learn about kale and plant your own tray of baby kale. The demonstration video is 2.5 minutes long. After that, take turns planting and watching the remainder of the video. So I noticed that as kale leaves age, they become tough and bitter. And for that reason, I always planted lots of kale in my garden so that I could just harvest the young tender leaves. Then last winter, I lost all desire to go out and harvest kale I had growing under plastic. I also realized that I could grow kale plants under lights in my basement and harvest the immature leaves. So now, about every 3 weeks, I start up a new tray of baby kale. All right, so now I've got my tray filled with potting soil, and I need to make holes. I'm going to use the ruler as a guide just for the first hole, and the very first hole that I'm going to make will be just a 1/2 inch in. Okay, and then from there, every inch, I'll use the pencil to make a hole, and I only want to go down about a 1/2 inch. Okay, now the next row, I don't need my ruler for it because I already have my 1-inch guides here. So I can just estimate an inch out and make my holes all the way down there. I have finished putting in my holes now, and so it's time to put the seeds in. Once again, I like to complete the entire tray before covering up the holes, so I don't skip rows or do one row twice. So I'll just continue on and complete the whole thing, and then it will be time to cover them up. Okay, we now have at least 1 seed in each hole. Some of them have 2, but that's okay. So I'm just going to take my pencil and dab it to kind of push the extra soil that's on the top down into these holes. It doesn't matter that I'm mixing the soil around. The kale seeds are down underneath, and so if I just mix the surface, I just kind of scrape the surface here a little bit, they're fine. They will stay put.
Only is kale chock full of vitamins and minerals. It is also rich in antioxidants. Antioxidants prevent free radicals from destroying or morphing our cells, thus preventing disease and slowing the aging process. Kale also contains bile acid sequestrants. Bile acid allows cholesterol to build up in our bodies. The bile acid sequestrants in kale bind bile acid, preventing cholesterol buildup. Kale also contains numerous cancer-fighting substances which protect against prostate cancer, colorectal cancer, lung cancer, and breast cancer. Kale is also high in nutrients that help reduce the risk of macular degeneration and cataracts. If you want to grow more than just a few kale leaves for salad, you may want to plant kale outside. Kale needs full sun to light shade. Full sun is more than 6 hours of sun a day. Light shade is 4 to 6 hours of sun a day. Kale is borderline, needing at least 6 hours of sun per day. Another thing to consider when deciding where to plant kale is soil pH. Look around your yard at the weeds. Do you have any common chickweed or purple dead nettle in your yard? If so, The pH of your soil is neutral, perfect for growing kale. Don't plant kale in the same spot as stinkweed, however, as it also belongs to the brassica family and harbors clubroot. It is because of club 1010 clubroot that it is wise to wait 4 years between plantings of cabbage, broccoli, kale, or Brussels sprouts. Reuse your baby kale potting soil on a different variety of plant for the same reason. Once you locate your perfect kale growing spot, dig down 18 inches to 2 feet and mix in compost and fertilizer. A 10-10-10 fertilizer will work fine. Kale will need one more fertilizer application after you harvest the first leaves. Sprinkle the fertilizer around each plant and water well to allow the nutrients to sink down into the ground.
If you are growing kale outside and don't want to use insecticide, it would be a good idea to invest in some floating row covers. These allow rain to enter but keep the wind and insects out. Or you could just spray your plants with BT, which only kills caterpillars. Kale seeds will germinate even during the hot days of summer. If there is not too much snow, kale will grow all winter, but it grows slowly. It will also die if the temperature stays below 20 degrees. I have planted kale plants in November under a plastic row cover and harvested as much as we could eat all winter. You can calculate how much you would save by growing your own kale, but you know that if you just picked it, it would be fresher than anything you could buy in the store. Give it a try.